Webinar is now
Great job.
streaming
It says
live
preparing
on.
to live stream the webinar. Wow, we're at 7:59. This is good. I'm trying to avoid background noises.
Okay. Do you hear any on my end?
I do not. We are actually live now on YouTube. Stream the webinar. Wow, we're at 7:59. I stopped the echo in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the YouTube playing, and you haven't cut your sound off, muted your sound from YouTube.
I don't have YouTube playing.
No, it's me.
Oh,
I'm saying the reason why you had heard the echo
yes.
was because of I had YouTube in the background.
Okay.
But now we are good to go. So we are waiting for folks to log in. And so Makisha Towns, good evening to you. Sister Towns is out of Florida, I think, right?
Is there such a town? Is there such a city?
Sister
Is there
Reed,
such a
Georgia. Sister Ethel Robinson Ellenson. Kay Booker, I think, is a sister, right?
New Jersey?
Okay. Hey, okay. She said, okay, Sister Nicole says she is here, but she cannot see us, but she has to log on because we are live. And I can see us, and several other people can see us. If you can see us, say, I can see you. Type in, I can see you. So we'll know if other folks can see us, and maybe Sister Nichols has to check her glasses.
What?
Sister Town says she can see us. Hey, Sister Danette Wright. Brother Michael Person is the Grand Master for North Carolina, right? Okay, Sister Lorraine Jenkins from New Jersey. Loving Myself 10, good evening. Illustrious Terrence Bennett from Florida, good evening. We'll give folks 4 minutes. Is that okay with you? Sister Hollowell?
Yes, it is.
All right. Sister Trellis Johnson says good evening to Sister Hollowell and Brother Evans.
Good evening, Sister Johnson. I miss you.
Sister Laquita Jackson. Yeah, people can see us. Sister Lorraine Jenkins says she can see us. Sister Charlotte Nichols need to get some.
Just give her some direction. Give Sister Charlotte Nichols some direction.
I don't know where she had to give her directions. If she on 75, 85, I-2285, where's she running on? Is she on, what is it, the Lodge? Is that what y'all call it in Detroit, the Lodge?
The Lodge is 10.
The Lodge, yes. I don't know if she on the Lodge.
She travels the Lodge a lot.
Okay. Well, quite a few people say they can see us, so that is good. Piped Up Corpse said, greetings, traveler, I can see you. Okay. Sister Hinton, I think that's the great state of New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yes. Good evening to you. So we are excited about tonight's webinar. I guess we can call it a webinar, right, Sister Hollowell?
Yes, we can.
And it's about virtual etiquette 101. We are going to provide the basics. We'll do a 200 level presentation.
Did you get it?
At a later time.
No,
I don't know that everybody can see that she's on the phone right now. Because
this is what not to do.
Right. So we're giving you some examples of what not to do. Like she just disappeared from the screen, which is one of our bullets is don't disappear. Oh my God, she is teaching as we're going along. So we're going to thank her in advance for her lessons. So Sister Pincham, good evening. Grand Matron Durham, good evening. Brother Thurman, good evening. Z. Larry, good evening. Terrence Goins, good evening. Valerie Martin, good evening to you.
He's talking to people that can see us.
And we can hear Sister Hollowell in the background still talking.
Okay, very good. I'll keep trying then.
She's gonna have to, so I muted Sister Hollowell, just so you all know. So that when she come back and she wave at me, she ready to chat. Okay, got you back on. Like, did you think you went to another room and we could not hear you?
I did go to another room.
Yes, and we heard you in the other room. Well, he's trying to. So yeah, so she's teaching us tonight the things that you should not do as you are doing a video chat. So thank you so much in advance for your lessons. Illustrious John Dogan, good evening. Sister Denise Jameson, good evening. Sister Latanya Mathis Brandon, good evening. Sister Sherry Johnson, Sister Dawn White, Sister Evangeline Worthy. She's a former Grand Matron, right?
Yes, of Delaware.
Of Delaware, that's right. When we went to Delaware for Supreme, she was a Grand Matron, right? CD Grand Matron at that time?
Correct.
Okay, that's right. When we went over to Delaware State University and presented the Trayvon Martin Scholarship. Okay. Sister Shavala Snell McFarland, Sister Sandra Harrington, good evening. Brother Cedric McMillan, good evening. Brother Michael Davis. So Grand Matron Durham says, being a distraction, she loves it. Yeah, so that's what Sister Hollowell was doing. She was being a distraction.
Exactly.
It's okay. So are you
After
ready?
tonight, you won't have too many distractions.
Not too many at all. Are you ready, my dear? Sister Hollowell,
Yes.
are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So now we are getting ready to share our screen.
Wonderful.
Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, then we can start the show. We're going to play from the beginning. Okay. So I guess as we did before, we will bounce back and forth. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so what we're going to do is begin with the basics. Tonight, I want to welcome everyone again to our presentation on Virtual Etiquette 101, the basics. Sister Patricia Hollowell and myself, illustrious Lamont Monty Evans, will be presenting. You know, I can see you still as the screen is up, right? So you're laughing. I can see you laughing now.
That's a smile.
Oh, okay. So we're going to go to the objectives. What are our objectives tonight, Sister Hollowell?
The objectives that we will achieve tonight are to discuss video chat platforms, review a to-do list to prepare for a video chat, highlight a to-don't list of the things not to do while video chatting, share virtual meeting tips and best practices, formal welcome to the new normal post-COVID-19.
So let's talk about the various video chat platforms. So on the right side of your screen, you should see 7 icons. And those icons represent 7 main video chat platforms that individuals use. What we're using tonight is what is called Zoom Webinar. So there's Zoom, the free version, then there's the paid version, which is I think $14.99. And then of course you can add other features, and we're using the webinar version where several of us can come together on the screen and we can broadcast it live to either YouTube or Facebook. Google Hangouts is another one as far as video chat platforms. I found out tonight, Sister Hollowell, or earlier today, that Facebook Messenger is one of the popular group video chat platforms. I only thought that it could be a few people, but it looks like it's up to 50 people can chat in Facebook Messenger.
Good to know.
Yes. Then you have GoToMeeting, which they have a sub program called GoToWebinar. So those two are linked together. Skype for Business allows you to do group video chatting. Google Meet, which is different than Google Hangouts, and then Cisco WebEx.
To-do lists for video chat. One of the reasons that we put this together is because we feel that this is actually our new normal. Some of us are doing this for our jobs, some of us are doing it for the organization, and some of us are doing it for recreational purposes. But nobody ever taught us what were the things that we should be doing and the things that we shouldn't be doing. So a long time ago, Sister Gill, some of you may remember, told me that I can't blame anybody for something if I didn't teach it to them. So that's where this idea came from, to explain to you what we should and shouldn't be doing on video chats. We need to be mindful of facial expressions and body language. My face is one that tells a story if you look at it long enough. Yes, sir. You want to comment on that?
No.
Okay.
Just said,
So I am aware that what facial expressions say without saying anything. So on a video chat, your face is showing. You need to let family members know that you're in a video conference. You need
so
to
I
look
should
at
have my cousins come in and say hello to everybody on the screen.
your cousins need to stay in the other room.
Okay.
The other thing that family members sometimes do is yell from the kitchen, "Where's the rice?" And you take time to answer them if it's
While you're on
something
the
that
video chat, right?
while you're on the video chat.
Okay.
So you really need to mute yourself and others so that they can't hear that. Look at the camera when speaking. Be comfortable, relax, and breathe often. Use common courtesy. Notice we didn't say common sense. I have been taught many times that we all don't have common sense, but common courtesy is what we need to use on our chats. Smile and use the appropriate hand movements.
So I shouldn't do the karate thing when we're on video chat.
Appropriate hand movements.
Okay. To continue on with the to-do list for video chat, one, you want to always show up on time. Sister Hollowell and I met behind the scenes about 1:15 to make sure that our technology was in place, our video and our microphones were lined up, our lighting was intact. She had a disruptive call from Sister Charlotte Nichols because she could not see us, but Sister Hollowell was ready. And so you want to always show up on time or a few minutes earlier, just in case you have some distractions that you need to handle. You want to always be professional. One of the things that we pride ourselves in is hopefully we emulate to you all what we would like for you all to do as you are participating in video chats, either within the order or within your job, because a lot of folks have now gone to video chatting and teleworking, which means that they are on video a lot now. And so tonight's webinar is to help you all get some tools and lessons for learning what you can use outside of International Masons and Eastern Stars. So always be professional, dress appropriately like you would when you would leave home for a meeting. And you know, Sister Hollowell, what's really interesting is I actually take a shower, I put on cologne, I iron my clothes, and I prepare for a video call as if I'm getting ready to leave the house, because I know that whatever I'm showing is what's coming across on the screen. So dressing appropriate to me is very key, because you never know also who's watching you on the video chat. So you want to make sure that you project professionalism and courtesy.
Because you're not only representing yourself, you're representing the organization.
Yes, and we are a big organization. And so you should mute yourself to prevent background noises. You know, the challenge sometimes when you are a host or a co-host, as Sister Hollowell and I, or is that you can't eat like potato chips or chocolate chip cookies, which I baked right before tonight's call. And so I have to wait until tonight's webinar is over to enjoy them, because I didn't know that they get crunchy after a certain time of being in the oven. So yeah, I don't want y'all to hear me crunching on my chocolate chip cookies. Also, you want to turn your video off when you're doing something distracting. And so I wanted to share, and Sister Hollowell, maybe we can do this later, is share some bloopers. I YouTube search video chat bloopers, and yeah, there are some amazing bloopers out there for what not to do on a Zoom video call. And so if you all want to take the time to do a YouTube search for video chat bloopers or Zoom meeting bloopers, you're going to come up with some amazing results. And then also be courteous to others when you're on the call. And so try not to interrupt someone as they're speaking. Sister Hollowell and I have this energy that we bounce back off each other. I served as her supreme worthy patron back in the 1950s. And so we've known each other for so long that we're able to just navigate our terrain of conversation.
Things not to do. Don't wait until the last minute to test your computer, webcam, microphone, and power, i.e. your equipment that you're going to use. Don't forget your social etiquette skills. Don't ever wear pajamas or streetwear.
Why is that, Sister Hollowell? Because I got some amazing outfits that I wear outside on the weekend. Why can't I wear them on a Zoom call?
Professional
Okay.
is the key word.
Okay.
We have a professional organization. We want to show our professionalism in everything that we say and do.
Yes, ma'am.
Pajamas are for bedtime.
Okay.
Hopefully, nobody will call a Zoom call past your bedtime.
Okay.
Don't be late. And don't have distractions in background noises. The background noise is really a big to-do. And we're going to give you a couple little hints about how to eliminate those background noises in a couple minutes.
Yes. So now to talk about the to-don'ts. I see Sister Hollowell has relabeled or reheaded it on things not to do. But I love the to-don'ts. To-dos, to-don'ts. It's like a song. These are the things you can do. These are the things you
Stick to your daytime job.
Okay, so don't eat or munch on camera, as we talked about earlier. Make sure you want to be conscious of eating while you're talking, because sometimes if you're called on while you're in the middle of a bite, then everyone has to now focus on you finishing that bite and then saying whatever you need to say to respond. Don't try to multitask. Focus just on the video chat. Someone may be texting you. Someone may be trying to get your attention on the other side of the camera. You want to stay focused and stay present in the video chat and prevent yourself from being distracted and being thrown off point. Another thing is, don't interrupt others while they're speaking. Is that someone can be making a very important point, and we are so in a rush to get our point in, or to battle, as far as I call it a marathon of situations where somebody always wants to level up or top off somebody's situation, but we want to listen so that we can respond, not listen so we want to be heard. I think that's very important. Don't stare at the camera or come too close. You know, one of the things that you want to be very mindful of is, in a Zoom call, when you have multiple people on the screen, you're looking, depending on the size of your screen, if you're looking on a mobile phone versus a tablet versus a desktop versus a wide flat screen on the wall, the individuals will come up in different rows and columns. And so you want to make sure that when you're looking at the person talking, that you're looking at them as opposed to always staring at the camera, because it can come off in the wrong way if you're always staring at the camera. Another thing is, don't invite family members. So Pookie and Shaquita, for those who have Pookies and Shaquitas in your family, not all of us have them. And so, but those who do, be very mindful of inviting your family members or friends to join in while meeting our professional call. I don't know if you've had the experience, Sister Hollowell, but I was on a video call and somebody said, y'all want to meet my daughter? Come and meet my daughter. And I'm like, okay, we trying to have this professional call, and now we meeting children. And so we just want to be very mindful of not inviting family members or friends to join in while in a meeting or professional call. So it's something that you want to check in advance. Is it okay if you introduce your spouse, your significant other, your partner, your children, or a co-worker or co-professional? Even if you're having a lodge or a chapter meeting, you want to make sure that you let everyone know that there are multiple individuals who may be on the camera, so that people aren't shocked when another face shows up on your screen.
Amen.
Also, don't be impatient. And so when it comes to video chatting, because this is part of our new norm, is that we have to be gracious and give people time to learn and adjust to how to hold their camera, to speak, project their voices, to make sure they understand when there are distractions in the background. And so we can't be hard on each other, because that's not the international way. Is that we are gracious and we're patient with each other, because if you go back to when we first began to learn our degrees, whether it be Eastern Stars or Masons, is that we had to be patient, and someone had to be patient with us as we learned our way through this fraternal order. And so we now have to be patient with other individuals as they learn their way through this new technology.
Virtual meeting tips. Image is everything. Be mindful of your attire. Comfortability in clothing worn. Avoid loud or distracting colors. Be mindful of your background and what everyone is seeing. When you start a Zoom conference, one of the first screens that you see is what you will look like on camera. So when you look at that camera and you see that there is a crooked picture behind you, then you want to straighten that picture out before you hit the button that says join the call. Make sure that the other things that are in the background are appropriate for the type of call that you're having. Maintain good visual contact and keep the camera at eye level. Don't look down into the screen or have the camera too high. Depending on your laptop, desktop, or your added camera, this may take a little adjusting, and that's one reason for coming in early to the call so that you can make those adjustments. Lighting matters.
You know,
Go ahead.
I seen Oprah. You know, Oprah is one of my favorite people in the world, right?
I know.
So
did you just interrupt me?
I did, but I said
Okay.
Hollowell, so that was like my segue in.
Okay.
I apologize. You forgive me?
I do.
Okay. So I was watching Oprah do a Zoom call. I think she was doing it with either D Nice, the DJ that's like trending on Instagram now, or someone else. And I looked and seen that she had like 5 books. She had a iPad, but she had 5 books in front of her. She was sitting in front of her desk, had the iPad on top of 5 books, and had another book holding it in the background because she was trying to keep it at eye level, which I thought was, Oprah Winfrey has like $4 billion or more. And so I guess it doesn't matter when it comes to wealth. If you need to get that camera at eye level, use some books if you need to.
Whatever it takes. Lighting matters. Put a light in front of you, not on the side or the back. And I think this is what a lot of people don't realize, that the camera actually dictates the brightness. So if the light is in front of you, then the adjustments will be made by your computer as far as the brightness. You want to watch how the sun hits you. Sometimes the sun can take half your face away, or shadows. So you want to make sure that that light is in the front of the computer.
Someone named Hollowell Bolding commented on YouTube, and they said, when you look good, you feel good. Do you know anyone Hollowell Bolding?
Better than she knows herself.
Okay. Virtual meeting tips continued. And I don't know if you all had a chance to see that on the left side of the screen, we have a sister in the background of the icons. And when you see the right side, we have a male in the background. And so I wanted to make sure that we balance this out. So continuing with virtual meeting tips, you want to always check your speaker sound before starting. If need be, get some headphones or a headset if necessary, so you can control your voice in, and of course, you can hear the sound clearly of what individuals are saying to prevent you from being distracted by outside noise. You want to definitely mute yourself when you are not speaking, so any movement you're doing is not captured on the microphone. One of the biggest distractions is shuffling of papers or typing, is that if you know you're taking notes, and I've seen this on a couple of our calls, if you know you're taking notes via your computer, you want to mute yourself while you're typing, because we can hear the clicking in the background, and that goes throughout the whole system as far as everyone on the Zoom call. Environment is key. I'm going to ask Sister Hollowell to highlight this or expound on this, is that a quiet and carpeted room holds sound much better than a wooden or marble floor.
When people that are around you in your home, when they're walking on that wooden or marble floor, the sound picks up. It's just like when I stepped away from the computer to another room, I didn't think you could hear me, but you could. So that's good to know. That won't happen ever again.
Okay.
So in your environment, it might take you going to a separate room. We have a newscaster who is remotely working from home, and he is doing it in a closet.
Really?
And he tells you, I'm in my closet, because he has 3 little kids and his wife is home. So he's in his closet for 2 hours in the morning. So the room needs to be carpeted so that you don't hear the steps, and it needs to be in a quiet area.
Okay, thank you. One of the things that we now have to get into when it comes to virtual chats and video conferencing is asking for an agenda in advance so that you're not flying off the cuff and that you have a set start and stop time. One of the things that we have to make sure we do is respect people's time, is because if that person is in the home, chances are, based on the stay at home or the shelter in place, that means the whole family is at home. And if you know that they have a family member of children or a spouse, then we want to be very mindful and conscious of their time so they can get back to their family and whatever needs that they need to address there. So having an agenda and a start and stop time is critical so that everyone can follow along and not just the host. The biggest thing I think, Sister Hollowell, that people need to know about is what is called a hot mic. And this is very known in the media world, especially in newscasters and radio and people who are speaking. Is that
Definitely.
sometimes if you fail to mute and you want to say something, because sometimes you get frustrated with a person, you want to say something, and your microphone is still hot, which means that you have not effectively muted, and whatever you just said, everyone has heard. And one of the things that I've learned down through the years is you cannot unsay what you have said, because a person cannot unhear what they have heard. So you want to be very mindful of a hot mic and the fact that the call may be recorded. Because we're doing virtual chats live on Facebook and YouTube, is that you can always go back to our YouTube page and review every Facebook live streaming that we've done, which is why some of our streaming is done on Facebook, which is member specific, and we have the streaming that's done on YouTube, which is open to those who may benefit from the information that we're sharing, because we're sharing information that hopefully as we get into this world of video chatting, that others can be helped by it.
Best practices. Communicate in advance if you're not going to be able to attend the video chat or will be logging on later. As a presenter and as a leader of these video chats, if you're expecting 15 people and you have 12 and you don't want the other 3 to miss anything, you tend to wait. You tend to hold other people up because you think other people are joining. It is just common courtesy for those 3 people to send you a quick text to say, I can't join tonight. I'm running late. I'm going to log in later. Just common courtesy. Leave early, but do it quietly. If you let the host know in advance, so others won't think that you just dropped the call. It's okay to say, can't stay on. I just got a text that it's past somebody's bedtime, so they were leaving the call. We understand that. They're working from home and they still have bedtimes, but that's okay. Practice, practice, practice off the camera on how you want to be viewed on the camera. That's your mirror work. Let your family know what you're doing. Sometimes we can be criticized for standing in front of the mirror talking when we're just trying to prepare ourselves. And here comes somebody behind us thinking that we're talking to ourselves. Patience is the key. Nobody knows anything when they are born. We all have different learning styles and patterns. If you are a visual learner, let people know. If you'd rather read for yourself, let people know. We all learn differently. Be willing to teach older and technologically challenged members. We have a couple older sisters in our chapter who are dead set on learning.
Mm.
And they will just keep after you and keep after you. You have to show me how to.
Mm.
Be patient. Yes, we showed you how to with that last phone, and now you got another phone, and now we got to show you again. Yes, we're going to show you again. We have to remember that we didn't know at one point ourselves.
So, welcome to the new norm. Video chatting is new to our order on a large scale, as well as lodges and chapters. And so some lodges have members who are older in them, some chapters have members who are older than them. And so we have to be very patient that this is going to become a part of our new normal post-COVID-19, is that now that companies are able to see that individuals can get work done at home, school children can now be paced at home and they can keep up with homework assignments, and the teachers are accessible for chat via school children. And so I know that workplace environments, supervisors and managers are available via chat when individuals are telecommuting. And so we may have to get used to this video chatting world as a part of our new norm, sort of like after 9/11. You know, before 9/11, I'm sure you remember this, Sister Hollowell, you could walk individuals onto the plane.
Oh, yes.
Say goodbye to them on the plane. And surely after 9/11, all of that stopped. And so now we have a new norm where we have TSA, we have security, we have to get to the airport earlier, as well as video chatting, is that if some individuals are hesitant or reluctant to get on board, then we have to find a way to help them adjust to the new technology so that they can be prepared. Don't be afraid to use the resources you have in your hand. Literally speaking, is that mobile phones have some great cameras, sound, and technology. And sometimes all you need is a good stand to put your phone on, or a good arm bracket that snaps to your desk or table, and it can literally be positioned right in front of you so that you can use it for your video chatting. And so don't be afraid to use your phone. It's an excellent tool. It's a very powerful tool. And so let's not forget that. So don't feel like you have to have a laptop or you have to have a desktop computer, or you can't do the call unless you're home. Find yourself in a quiet place. I was on a video chat, Zoom chat on Sunday afternoon, and one of the gentlemen who was on the call had headphones on, and he was sitting in the car. And the reason being that he was sitting in the car with headphones is because his wife and their children were having a talent show. And so it was talent show Sunday. And so in order for him to participate quietly, he literally sat in the car and we didn't hear any distractions. So you want to make sure you look at that as an option also. Ask for help. You know, illustrious Kenneth Hollowell always talks about us being an interconnected fraternal order, meaning that one member from one area can go to another area and participate in a lodge or chapter or an event or activity. And so as a result of that is that being interconnected means we should be able to ask for help from one another. Sister Hollowell and I are definitely accessible and available to provide any help or assistance that you may need when it comes to video chatting. If we don't know, we will find out and get the answer back to you. But the goal is, don't be afraid to ask for help or assistance, because we want you to be successful wherever you are in whatever role that you serve, because you being successful means the organization in that particular corner of the whole pie is successful. Also, take your time and be kind to yourself. You got this, definitely. You don't have to worry about getting it as fast as some other people. I know that one day, you know, Sister Hollowell, the president, said that someone came to him and mentioned about Brother Evans doing this, Brother Evans doing that, Brother Evans doing this. And he said that Brother Evans has a different learning style. But there are some things that he can do that absolutely Brother Evans cannot do. And there are some things, Sister Hollowell, you can do when it comes to walking that labyrinth. And when it comes to doing different things, you can run circles around me to where I'm dizzy. And so we have to take our time and be kind to ourselves, and don't be so hard on ourselves, because there's a lot of anxiety now as a result of people having to stay in. I know some cities and states are trying to unlock and go back to normal, some sense of normalcy, but people are afraid. And so you want to definitely take your time, slow down, and take all this in, because it's going to take some adjusting to get to. So now, Sister Holloway, we're going to open it up for questions. If anybody
Before we open it up for questions, the headphones, you mentioned headphones.
Yes.
I don't think we elaborated on headphones, did we?
When we went over check your speaker sound before starting,
Okay,
use
no.
headphones or headsets if necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I really wanted to say about that, some of us have forgotten about those headphones and headsets that you probably have in a drawer somewhere, or that you got on the plane. If your laptop has a jack for a headphone, that would help tremendously in the background noise. So let's consider using headphones to cut down on our background noise.
I also want to add to that, as far as Bluetooth headphones, is that you want to make sure that if you use Bluetooth headphones, that they're fully charged, because if you cut out, then you're going to be lost in the wilderness. Okay, any questions that anyone has? We really just wanted to take some time to do like this quick webinar, because we see a lot of video chats unfolding. We see a lot of conversations happening in Zoom all throughout our order now, and we wanted to give some etiquette to our members, to provide them some insight on how they should behave. So, how do you get in contact with us? Well, Sister Hollowell, as our former Supreme Grand Matron, her phone number is 313-770-4077. And her email is pjhollowell@internationalmasons.org. For me, my phone number is 404-454-5469. And my email is MONTEE, Monte, that's 2 E's, @internationalmasons.org. And I know one of the revolving questions every time we do a presentation, Sister Hollowell, is, how can I get a copy of this presentation? Well, about 10 minutes after we end this webinar, you'll be able to go to our website, internationalmasons.org, coronavirus.html, and you'll be able to download this in both Microsoft PowerPoint and PDF, because I know, and I think you know this, Sister Hollowell, that some folks take the presentations and they represent to their lodges or chapters whenever they meet.
And that is very good. Whatever we have, we don't mind sharing. God gave it to us, and we give it to you for you to give to someone else.
Sister Hollowell, speaking of sharing, you know, you have all of those mileage points with Delta.
I used to have them.
Okay, so
It's been 2 years now, and I've been using them.
Okay. Well, I guess I won't be asking for them.
Won't get you too far. I might be able to get you from Atlanta to Valdosta.
Well, amen for that. So we want to open it up for questions or comments from folks. We didn't want to take too much time on this Tuesday night. I don't know if any shows or series are on that folks are
This is
watching.
the last episode of Empire.
Really?
Yes.
So maybe folks will go and watch this later, huh?
We'll see. You have no questions down there in your chat?
No, not yet. I see thank you, awesome. I see smiles, very nice. Thanks, Sister Denise Jameson says, very nice, thanks. But no questions. And so we're at about 153 folks. And at any point we can, we give folks a few more minutes and maybe 5 more minutes, and then we can wrap it up ourselves. How about that?
That's right.
I don't watch Empire, so I won't be watching the last episode, even though I did see the first episode some years ago.
You saw the first episode and didn't see any more.
I didn't watch any more. After the first season, I just can't get into shows. Presentation was well explained, Brother Michael Davis. Illustrious John Dogan says, know your audience when speaking. That's true. Sister Tawanda Green Edmond says, miss you, Sister Hollowell. Sister Michelle Reed says, great presentation, huh?
I miss all of you.
Oh,
I was looking forward to seeing everybody real soon. I'm still looking forward to seeing everybody real soon.
yes. Sister
It
Trellis.
won't be as long as it has been.
Yes. Sister Trellis Johnson says, very good and informative. Thank you both. Take care. Love you both.
Yeah.
So I guess we have no questions. That is good. That's a good thing.
That's awesome.
Yes. And
Awesome.
so right now the website is being updated. And so before we log off, people will be able to log on and download the presentation. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. This technology stuff is really
Yeah.
hitting the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's having multiple gadgets. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's an iPhone and iPad and iMac and a laptop and all this going on at the same time. Yeah.
At the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we going to do next?
That's a good question. And so I'm glad you said that, because one of the things I wanted to ask people is to put in comments is presentations or webinars that they would like to see us do, so that we can get an idea for subject matters that folks would like for us to work on.
Sounds good.
Someone said, Sister Thomasina Sams Riddick, brother, greetings to you. Illustrious Evans, can you speak to utilizing the Supreme Grand Matrix account for Zoom? I can't speak for it, but I know Sister Monique Walton can speak for it because she has the access. But I think Sister Jessica Gamble, Sister Gamble is the one coordinating that. Am I right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I think I was
but
on
I'm sure if she would text Sister Walton, she would lead her in the right direction.
Okay. And Sister Walton's on the live stream, so she will see it and probably respond. Yeah. So Sister Vivian Williams said, Brother Evans, if you had paid for Supreme, will you receive a refund? I'm imagining if Supreme is canceled, you will receive a refund. That's the word that the president said. And so
but as of today, it's still on, correct?
Yes. As of today, it's still on the books. And so you're not attending. Is that why you want to receive a refund, Sister Williams? Great info tonight. Okay. Yes, Sister Jessica Gamble is the one to contact for accessing the Zoom, Sister Riddick. So want to make sure that you do that. I do remember being on hearing that on the call. Now, Sister Sonia Davis wants to see the burial ceremony march in and out. Well, Sister Davis, you probably won't see that on Zoom because that would mean that literally everybody would have to position themselves on the screen to march in and march out. So that's going to be a little challenge. Unless, Sister Hollowell, you got something up your sleeve on that
I'm sure in class at the Supreme Convention, we'll be able to show that to her.
Okay. Supreme Convention 2020, Herndale, Virginia. Hollowell Bolding is suggesting presentation topics, interview tips, best ways to give back to meet the needs of the underserved due to coronavirus. Okay, that's good. So I think we can do that, right?
Of course.
Okay, and Regina Hunter is asking about the executive refund. Now, I know that for your Leaders Council registration, it was rolled over to 2021. So you're automatically registered for 2021 Leaders Council. As far as for the hotel, you should not have been charged anything for that. And so I'm not sure, Sister Williams, exactly what refund you're talking about. The spring chapter around. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Someone sent an attachment. A question is, okay, I answered that. You know, one of the challenges, Sister Hollowell, of having multiple levels of technology in front of you is that somebody's texting you and you're trying
Somebody
to
texted you, somebody emailed you.
and then you're watching the
Chat.
yeah, the chat to make sure that anything comes up. Now, Sister Norma Pullman says she would like to see something on passing the torch.
Okay, calm down.
Passing the torch the proper way to give the leadership information to the next incoming leader. You know, that came up on Sunday's conversation membership chat. And just so you all know that we will be doing another members chat, 5 stars and 5 Masons. And I guess, Sister Hollowell, we can work on.
And when is the next members chat?
That is a good question. And so since today is April the 21st, we probably won't be doing it until maybe May the 3rd or May the 10th. Because just so folks know also, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays is generally when we will be doing something online. Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon. I know this Sunday, the Supreme Clergy Council will be bringing another service. And so I wanted to make sure that I gave folks a heads up on that. Why are you laughing? Did I say something?
That's a smile.
Okay. Well, yeah. But yeah, you know I'm a little country. So I'm not as country as Jackson, Tennessee, though, finna. But I'm a little country. Okay. Sister Regina Hunter would like something on what if you're not a leader. And that's a good thing, Sister Hunter, because if you're not a leader, that means you are a good server. And so you can serve in multiple capacities to assist leaders, because that's what's going to help build the order. Is not everyone can be a supreme national district, grand, or local leader. Is that sometimes we need people to just serve and assist leaders in moving them forward. You want to say something on that, Sister Hollowell?
It is good to be able to serve and to show yourself your talents and what you can do. Share.
Okay. Brother Baron Oliver says, if they cancel Supreme 2020, can we roll payment over to 2021? I think that may be an individual situation.
I would agree.
Yeah, and so that's going to have to be discussed later if we get to the juncture of canceling Supreme. So again, that's not off the table yet. Supreme is still on the table. Sister Latanya Bati says, any suggestions on what to do with OES candidates that have been in the onboarding process during this pandemic? Keeping them interested, but options are very few. Thank you and God bless.
Keeping in mind that those sisters who have been in the onboarding process, they're going to make terrific members if they hold out and hold on. I think that as long as you keep them engaged, as long as you keep talking to them, keeping them involved in whatever you can that's not ritualistic. And there are a lot of things that we can do outside of a regular chapter meeting. And I don't think this is going to last another 2 months. So for people to build their interest to be held for another 2 months, I think that may not be a problem. But if you find yourself having a problem, that matron, talk to your grand matron, get some suggestions from other people. Anticipation is going to make them better members.
I think one of the things that we chatted about earlier, two things that you mentioned was Bible study, is that outside of ritualistic Bible work, that they're just having some Bible study sessions with individuals, and to do some, what'd you say, study sessions also, right?
Book club.
Book club, yes. What book
club.
is your club reading now? What book are you all reading?
I am not sure.
Well,
Remember, I told you I had other plans on that night.
Oh, yes. Well, maybe I think we may have did a presentation or you was in the meeting on that night. So
Right.
that's right. Okay. Book clubs are good. So you may, though there are multiple ways, and actually I'm glad you brought that up, Sister Beatty, because Sister Hollowell and I literally talked about this earlier today on doing a webinar on how to keep members engaged during this stay at home and shelter in place, as well as how to keep those who are waiting to become members, both on the Masonic and the Eastern Star side, so that people don't get impatient and feel like we have forgotten about them, or letting the anxiety of being sheltered in place prevent them from continuing their interest in joining our beloved order.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Tamika Picot is sending lots of social distancing hugs from New Jersey. We are sending more back to you. Sister Picot, Brother Michael Person, can one be done on Masonic etiquette? I'm sure we can work with Supreme Grand Lodge, and the brothers can do something on Masonic etiquette.
You sure you don't want me to help you with that?
Sister Hollowell, your time
especially
is so
about hats and buildings. Make sure that's on the list.
I don't want
hats at banquets. Put that on the list.
I don't want to disturb you. Or polo shirts during the banquet. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. Let's see. Good evening. Can you all go over proper new member etiquette for meeting fellow travelers? Okay, we will look at that. Sister Taquisha Davis.
Okay.
I think I said it right, Taquisha. Lord knows, I hope I said it right. Okay, and Sister Monique Walton said, reach out to your grand matron on the sisterhood time. And so that's going to be a wrap. I think, Sister Hollowell, we have maxed out our time here. I thank you for serving as a co-host. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Just real quick, and I'm sure you remember this, but or you may not. 2010, so 10 years ago, was my very first Supreme Convention in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was so amazed at what I saw, because we hosted it here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Biggs encouraged me to attend, and Brother Donald Carey and Eddie B. Walker from Pine Mountain, Georgia. They got, I think, 2 lights. No, he said if you Google it now, they got 3 lights, 3 stoplights.
Oh, I'm so glad they've grown.
Yeah, they've grown. But I was so fascinated with Supreme when we hosted it here in Atlanta that I couldn't wait to go to the next Supreme, which was in 2011 in Orlando, Florida. And that is where I don't know if you remember, I was taping the King Solomon's Council and Queen of the South ceremony with my iPad. And I seen you on the stage because you were the seated Supreme Grand Matron. And right after, I think the first or second joint session, Sister Peachy Tresvant had asked me, are you a member of the Order Eastern Star? And she was your security. And that was the day that you decided that you wanted me to be your Supreme Patron. And
because you had the right answer to that question.
Yes, I did. And if you ask me today, I believe I'll still have the right answer. Now,
I'll call you later.
Really interesting is Sister Walton, because I eventually evolved to Supreme Secretary of Education, right?
Right.
Sister Walton thought because you are retired that I retired and didn't want to serve her as Supreme Grand Matron. So I wanted everyone to know, and Supreme Grand Matron Walton to know, it's because of my role. I could not open the Supreme Grand Chapter and educate the brothers at the same time.
And we know that that is true.
I love the way you phrase words and sentences. Yes.
Had nothing to do with Sister Walton. It was just that the brothers needed you.
Yes, yes, yes. And so with that being said, everyone, may God bless International Free and Accepted Modern Masons Incorporated and Order Eastern Star. May he continue to bless illustrious James O. Dogan, our Supreme President and CEO,
Amen.
First Lady, Minnie Dogan,
Amen.
our Supreme Leaders, National District Leaders, Grand Officers, local leaders, as well as our members. And even, Lord, bless those who are waiting to come in our fraternal order. We thank you for your grace and your mercy. With that, good night, Sister Hollowell, and good night to everyone else.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure.